Hey guys, what's going on? Today I'm going to be building a LEGO Siege Camp MOC. This series will consist of a total of 3 parts where I would first be building the terrain, the camp, and then the trebuchet. You can already see I have the layout ready to show you guys, so there's going to be a small river or a stream going across the base plate, separating the two sides. I will then elevate the back side of the base plate, creating a hillside. On this elevated ground, I will later place a few tents on the right side. I don't know, maybe like 2 or 3, depending on how much space I will have. And on the left side is where it will be very exciting, guys. I plan to build a trebuchet, and I've already made a sort of blueprint so that I will be able to match it with the studs and place it at an angle like so. But without further ado, guys, let's get into building the stream and then build our way upwards. Let's go. Alright guys, so the stream is now more or less complete, and I have to say, I'm glad I went with the translucent black tiles for the water. I think it looks amazing, and I don't know if the camera picks this up, but the tiles are also pretty reflective, which gives it a realistic look. I'm still unsure of whether I should lower the amount of tan that I placed on either side. I think it's a little too much right now, but we'll just have to see. I also made a small path that will eventually lead to the camp, and maybe I can have some wooden planks thrown together to form a little bridge as well. Right now, I will start building my way up using a bunch of plates to shape the hillside, so let's get into that. So I updated the blueprint that I made earlier to match the true base of the trebuchet, so now it's just a matter of playing around with the jumper plates and trying to attach the base at an angle. I'll also have to put a bunch of tiles directly under the base so that they don't interfere with it, and it all sits in place. Of course, I will continue to throw a bunch of ugly bright colored bricks as filler bricks under the ground to make sure everything is stable. Alright, so I completed a good chunk of the elevated ground, and more importantly, was able to align the base at an angle. Let me take the base off for you guys so you can see how it's attached. So there are 2 jumper plates at the front and 1 in the back, allowing it to sit at an angle. You can see I also put a bunch of brown tiles to represent the dirt or mud. I also used tan around the sides to show that the besiegers have gotten rid of any shrubbery that was in the way. I'm trying to make it look like the trebuchet was dug in a little bit, and I think I sort of achieved it here. Of course, it is still far from finished, so let's complete the rest of the hill. As you can see, I've thrown a bunch of 1x2 and 1x1 tiles and plates around the perimeter of the trebuchet to give it more of that dug-in look. I really like how this turned out, but now let's finish up the path leading up to the trebuchet. Now it's time to add some of the plant elements. As you can see, I have these leaf pieces in olive green. I have a bunch of these big plants. I have these pieces that I'm going to be using for the trees, and I will scatter these small plants all around as well. I will also use these 1x1 studs with a hole in order to place the olive green elements onto the mock. Let's get to it. Alright guys, so I have placed all of the plant elements that I wanted to, and I'm honestly so happy about how this looks. I was able to use a bunch of different techniques to create this forest area. In particular, I had a lot of these brown whip pieces laying around, so I said why not, and just threw them into the forest floor to act like roots. And I used them to sort of wrap around the other plant pieces and connect everything together, and I think it just looks amazing, but let me know what you guys think. I did just a little bit of work off camera and decided to widen the stream a little bit so that it extends over the base plate. I just thought it looks a little better. As for the foundation of the trebuchet, I used a bunch of these smaller plant pieces to make it look interesting and add just a little more elevation. Of course, this area might change a little bit when I will actually be in the process of building the trebuchet, but we'll just have to see. You can see I also added tree stumps to show that the trees needed to be cleared to make way for the trebuchet. I added a variety of colors to the hill, including sand green, olive green, and medium nougat as well. I think that they've blend very well together. If you notice, the right side of the hill is a little empty because that is where I intend to place the tents, which will be in the next episode, so stay tuned for that. But yeah guys, everything I wanted to cover in this episode is now complete. I'm overall happy with how this turned out. Terrain has become one of my favorite things to build in LEGO now. It might seem boring and plain, but there's just so many elements and colors that you can use in order to make the landscape so interesting. If you guys made it this far in the video, well, firstly, I owe you a thank you, but I also encourage you to leave a comment down below and tell me what you think of my MOC, and let me know what you want to see me build in the future. I'm very interested to hearing your opinions and suggestions. You can see I placed a few English Knights on the hill, amazing minifigs. You can check out my other video where I build a whole army of them. But anyways, they'll be getting ready to make camp and set up their tents in order to prepare for the long siege ahead of them. But in the meantime, that's all I've got for today. Subscribe so you don't miss the other episodes, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.